Hello, I hope you are having a wonderful day today. My name is Teacher Colleen and welcome to another video. Today we're talking kind of all things Amazing Talker. So I have recently just finished up my first month or so working with Amazing Talker, and I kind of wanted to share my experience, kind of talk about how things went. So this video is going to be a little bit more opinion based, so it's not like how you get through the hiring process type of video, but what I want to do is kind of quick touch on like how was the hiring process for me, how did my first month go, let's talk a little bit about pay, I'll share with you guys how much I made in my first month at Amazing Talker, and then some general kind of pros and cons. I'm going to try to be concise and talk quickly. Also, we're going to get started right now, right away. So Amazing Talker, what is it? If you are not familiar, Amazing Talker is like a marketplace platform, but for online classes, basically. They're based out of Taiwan, and it's not just teaching English, which is what I was interested in for me, but it's teaching other languages, and they also offer other types of private tutoring programs. One thing important to note right away is it's not a platform that has pre-made material. So when you go onto the platform as a teacher, you are either creating material or sourcing it from somewhere else other than Amazing Talker. And then it's also really, really independent. It's like you are your own tutor, you're your own boss, you make your own schedule, and you talk directly with students through the Amazing Talker platform. So it is very direct compared to platforms like VIP Kid or GoGo Kid, where you have like a relationship with students in the classroom, but you can't really talk to them outside of the classroom. So that is one of the big differences right away. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the hiring process first and how that went for me. The hiring process, like getting accepted to Amazing Talker, went very smoothly. It went by really quickly. You have to fill out a basic information form, and they actually do it where you have to fill out information, but you only can write 1 or 2 sentences. It's really short about your experience and your education and stuff. So that was really nice because it got done with really quickly. And what will happen once you get invited to do an interview, the person who is supposed to be your interviewer will contact you to set up a time for your interview. And then you're supposed to ask them, like as if it was a real student, oh, what do you want to learn in class? Like what level student should I prepare for? And you plan your own lesson based off of what the interviewer requests of you. And that went really well, and I found out that I was accepted into Amazing Talker that same day right after my interview. So that went really smoothly. So everything leading up to Amazing Talker, easy peasy, nice and smooth. Now, I don't know about you guys, but whenever anybody comes up with something, they're like, join my team. So after the interview, he mentioned, oh, you can join my team and do this. And as soon as somebody says join my team, I'm like, oh, I don't want to join your team. So that like language put me off for just a second. But basically what they do is they have teams where you join and they're like your mentors. So they will look over your profile for you. They will help you edit your profile. You can ask them any questions. So something that was really nice is I made my profile and then I sent it to the people in my team, and they're like, okay, we recommend you change this and we changed that. And then they also translated my profile into Chinese and Cantonese. That way students could read it in their native languages. Same with my video. They added subtitles for me. So they put on all that work, and you don't have to pay to be a part of a team, because if you had to pay, there's no way I would be participating. But you don't have to pay to be part of the team. It's something that the Amazing Talker platform offers. And it's kind of similar to like having a referral that helps you through the hiring process, or having somebody that helps you get started with another company, because there's often a lot of questions. So at first I was a little hesitant, but later on I was pretty thankful about that. The only thing that I didn't like that much about the profile is everybody's profile is like full of emojis. Hang on, I'm going to stick mine up on this side so you guys can see what mine looks like. And at first I was like, I don't want to like be that overwhelming in my profile, but sadly, because everybody on the platform is doing it, my mentors recommended that you do it too. And so I feel like that's kind of disappointing. So this brings me to one of my first cons, and it's always going to be a con, no matter what platform you start with, is it always takes some time. It always takes time to get started. And Amazing Talker does this thing where you match with students. So what they do is, say a student is new and they want to look for a teacher. the Amazing Talkers website will send out the student's information to multiple teachers at once. It'll be like, hey, this student is interested in English classes that you're offering. But the problem is it doesn't just send it to you. It sends that message to about like 100 other teachers or so. I don't know the exact number, but it sends it out to many other teachers. And then the first like 3, 4, 5 teachers who respond to that message are the ones who get to contact the student. So it's kind of really annoying, to be perfectly honest. That happened the first few times that I tried to respond to that message. I would get the notification on my phone or on the computer, and I would click on it, and it'd be like, oh, sorry, this person has already been contacted by another teacher. And it was happening like minutes, not even minutes, like seconds after. And I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. There's no way I'm going to sit here looking at my phone all day waiting for a potential student. That is not going to happen. So I can say, thankfully, the first few days were kind of like that. But it started to pick up, especially after I taught my first class. Another thing is you will still get those messages for matches, but what happens is the students who will like look directly at your profile will just be sent to you, not to all the other teachers. So then you'll have more time to respond to students. So normally, because of the time zone difference, when I wake up in the morning, I have maybe 2 or 3 matches that are still there from the night before that I can send messages to those students. Where at the very, very beginning, like the first week, I would try to contact a student and the message would already be gone. I don't know if that's making any sense. But I feel like the way they match students with teachers is a little frustrating, especially at the beginning. And so actually there was a moment like in that first week I was like, did I waste my time? I hope not. But I didn't, thankfully. Still to be determined. All right. So we kind of talked about bookings, pay. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. The Amazing Talkers website is a little strange at first, but after you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. I feel like they have room for improvements, but if you understand technology, you'll get around the website just fine. The next thing I want to talk about is pay. There is no standard pay. It is always you, the teacher, who chooses your pay. There is kind of a standard for class times. So typically class times are either 25 minutes or 50 minutes. Oftentimes they do a 25-minute trial classes, and then for kids they offer 25-minute classes, and then most of the time for adults it's 50-minute classes. And that is something that I actually really like about Amazing Talker, and that was one of the things that made me interested in teaching on this platform to begin with, is because the standard is 25 minutes and 50 minutes rather than 30 minutes and 60 minutes. Because I find when I teach with my classes with no space in between, I hate it. I just need a few minutes. I just need a few minutes in between my classes to transition, to open up new things. I also really don't like being late for students, so it's so nice to be able to arrive on time. So that is one of the biggest things that I was excited about, and one of the first things that I was like, ooh, I like that this platform does that. That's why I'm interested. And so you can set your prices. Sorry, that was a little tangent. So you can set your prices however you would like. They kind of recommend that your trial class is a low price to begin with. And they actually recommend it around $1, $2, or $3. I put my trial class at $3 for 25 minutes, which is like nothing. So that is another con, I have to say, that your trial classes are really cheap, but you can set your price however you want. And you can set prices for different types of classes. So for example, my conversation class, because you don't have to do anything and you don't have to put any prep involved into it, I set it at a lower price than my 50-minute class. I have my standard class rate set at $17 right now because I didn't want to start too high because I don't have any reviews yet on the platform. Another thing Amazing Talker does automatically is they do a discounted price. So they just say that your $17 is your standard price per class. Say you book 5 classes at once, it'll go down 5%. And if you book 10 classes at once, it'll go down by 10%. And 20 classes at once, it's 20%. I'm not 100% sure if I'm remembering that correctly. But basically, it incentivizes students to buy many classes at a time, like buy a package from you, rather than buy one class. And so I think the benefit outweighs the con because you're going to get that student for a longer period of time. So I do like that. Now, when it comes to teaching classes, you have to prepare all of your own material. And this is actually something I really like. So previously I worked for VIP Kid and GoGo Kid, and you can't plan. It's just pre-made lessons, which is really nice because it's really easy. But something that would frustrate me is sometimes you'd get a student that was kind of mixed matched with their level, or you'd get a student that really needed to review something that wasn't in the lesson. And so this way, if you need to go backwards, you can. If you need to hop forwards, you can. If you need to take a side track, you can. And that's something I really like. Okay, so to be perfectly honest with you, I do plan on my lessons, but I don't just plan them out of thin air, wherever, willy-nilly. I have two resources that I use to plan my lessons. So I use the resource ESL Library. I'll make sure I link both of these resources down below. And if I can find any like promotion codes or like discount codes, I'll try to leave those in the link down below as well. I'll try to look for those for you guys. But what I personally do is I decided to pay for two different online things. So I have ESL Library, which is about $11 a month, which is kind of expensive, but if you think about it, it's teaching one student, not even. So one class, and it's paid for. And then I also have Crystal Clear ESL, and again, that's one's $9 a month, and again, it's another student. So it's like having to teach two classes, but then having all of your lessons planned. And that is what I really like. So Crystal Clear has more of like PowerPoint-based lessons, and I use them for my younger students. And then ESL Library has like grammar-based lessons or vocabulary-based lessons for all different age groups. So what I tend to do is I kind of tend to mix and match, and I'll grab something from this website, something from this website, depending on what my student needs, and I base my lesson plans off that, and it basically means that I maybe spend a few minutes looking for resources or putting together a lesson, and every once in a while I'll end up putting together something completely different for a student. But that allows me to prep for my classes with not a lot of time. You don't have to use those two that I'm talking about. There's so many things online that you can use, and there's even lots of free resources you can use as well to plan your lessons. But I just found that it was worth it for me to pay for those lesson planning options because it's so much easier. Okay, so I kind of sidetracked when we were talking about lessons, but we're going to kind of come right back to pay because there's another thing that is important to mention. So Amazing Talker allows you to set your prices, but by using their platform, they charge a fee. So there are two fees. There is, sorry, I'm going to be looking at my notes. There is a fixed fee of 8% no matter what. And then there's the platform service fee of 30% as well. And so that equals out to 38%. That is a high fee. So something I want to mention is most platforms will take a fee and a percentage, and oftentimes a lot of them are at 30%, a 30% fee. So for example, one that I can think of right off the top of my head is OutSchool. The one thing that is really nice about the 30% part of the fee, the platform service fee on Amazing Talker, is it goes down. So every $100 you make, it goes down 1%. So once you make $100, it's 29% service fee. And then once you make $200, it's 28%, and all the way up to $3,000. So if you make more than $3,000 in a month, you get charged none of that platform service fee and just that fixed fee of 8%. And so does somebody out there actually teach that 3,000 classes? I don't know. But the idea that 30% could go down where other platforms normally offer that at like a fixed rate is really nice. Okay, now for the fun part, let's look at my paycheck. I'm going to just kind of pop up a screenshot of it up here. Unfortunately, the whole thing didn't fit on my screen, so you can't look at every single class that I taught. But you can see like the total at the bottom. So I made $165, and then because of the platform service fee, minus $47, and because of the fixed fee, minus another $13. So I made a total of $104.20. Ooh, that fee is a lot. I know that happens on every platform, and hopefully I'll be able to get that down in the future. So I taught 24 classes total this month, but 16 of those were trial classes. So 16 of those classes were 25-minute classes for only $3. But I do want to say a lot of those classes were converted, and those students bought classes. I technically have 41 scheduled classes coming up and 65 unscheduled classes still. So that's from the packages the students have bought. So I know that I have about 65 classes coming up on the platform. Okay, so after talking about my pay, I just kind of want to wrap up by saying, first of all, I'm sure I forgot some important information, but I just want to quick wrap up by saying the things that I like and the things that I don't like so much. So something I really like is the flexibility. I really like that I can choose my own pay. I really like that I can make my own lesson plans. I also like that I have direct contact with the students. Also, for example, if something goes wrong, like a student can't make it to class or a student isn't there, you can handle it directly with the student. And there are 3 or 4 different options after the class. So say there was a problem, you could refund them, you could reset the class to unscheduled, you could give them a 50% refund, or you could give them no refund. So there's like options to work out with the student what actually worked out. I had a student, we had some IT issues, and because of that, we still had class. But even though she didn't ask me afterwards, I was like, hey, we had a lot of IT issues, and part of it was my fault. So I'll give you a 50% refund for this class. Thank you for understanding. And so I did that just to kind of like keep good faith with a student. So there's like options like that where you're talking directly to the students. Some of the things I don't like is I don't like their matching system. I think it's like a little hectic and it kind of creates a little anxiety. After you get used to it and after you get some students, it's not a big deal. But the first week I was like, what is this? I don't like it. I don't like it. Another thing that I don't like is I feel like Amazing Talker kind of has a little bit of false advertisement going on. So they highly recommend their teachers be like, oh, I can speak all these languages. Oh, I have all these competences. Oh, look at all these emojis. So I feel like they really like push teachers to like be extravagant and like oversell themselves, which is kind of disappointing. But since everybody on the platform is doing it, you're kind of pushed into that direction as well. So that is a con for me. I don't really like that part, and I try to be like as clear as possible with students. And if I'm not capable of giving them what type of class they're interested in, I don't want to give them false promises. So I try to just be clear about that right away when I'm contacting students when they ask for what they're looking for. And of course, another con is that it's going to take time. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the future. I'm going to probably be continuing teaching on Amazing Talker for a little while, and I will share any updates with you guys if you're interested. One more thing that I definitely should have mentioned at the beginning of this video, but I will leave my referral link. So if you want to apply for Amazing Talker, I will leave my referral link and my email down below. So if you have any questions or you need any help, you can contact me. I'm sure I forgot lots of information. So if you have any more questions, definitely let me know. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And I hope to see you in another video again soon. Thank you. Goodbye.